Welcome to another segment of A Spirited Debate. I'm Lauren Greene. The movie Star Wars broke all kinds of box office records when it was originally released in 1977. And the mantra, "May the Force be with you," became a phrase forever remembered. In the years after the first trilogy, a group of dedicated followers took those words to a deeper level, creating their own religion called Jediism. Tens of thousands of faithful believe in the power of the Force and adhere to the Jedi Code, much as Obi-Wan and Yoda did. Well, joining me now from Los Angeles to explain more about this newfound faith is Jedi Kevin Trout and journalist Ben Svetke, who wrote about Jediism in Details magazine. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Oh,
absolutely.
Great. Well, Kevin, I want to ask you, because I'm sure there are a lot of skeptics out there, is this a real religion, or is it kind of more of a belief system, or is it kind of a lot of enthusiastic Star Wars groupies kind of taking it, as I say, to a deeper level?
I think it's all of the above. I think it depends on who you talk to. Certainly, it can classify as a personal religion, something you choose to follow as your religion and what you believe in.
Well, what do the Jedi actually believe? How do you practice Jediism?
Well, it's varied practices. There's meditation, there's physical fitness, there's a focus on diplomacy and general etiquette, being nice, opening doors, that general stuff. There's also a focus on community service. As far as religious beliefs, that varies from person to person. If you're looking for something in relation to God or a deity, a specific definition of the Force, that does vary from Jedi to Jedi.
So is there one doctrine that you follow, or is it sort of up to the individual?
There's a general guideline. Certainly the Jedi Code fits in the heart of that. There is a general focus that everybody follows. That's emotional well-being, physical well-being, spiritual well-being. All of these things, all Jedi practice and follow, but how they do that is up to the individual.
And who created the code?
We don't have an exact person. It was actually created in the role-playing guide for Star Wars back in 1987.
So that's kind of the Bible of the Jediism?
The Jedi Code is certainly the core of it. The role-playing guide itself is not the Bible. It's just that code came out, and it did offer that mantra, that philosophical basis to work from. And it's kind of what all Jedi have held on to and used as a starting point.
Great. Benjamin, you wrote the article in Details magazine, and a great article. I did kind of feel you're a little snarky, maybe tongue-in-cheek at times. What really was your impression of this sort of new religion?
Well, I went in pretty skeptical, as you can imagine, and to some degree I still am a little skeptical about it. But at bottom, when I thought about it, it's sort of like, why is this any different than any other religion? The core beliefs that Kevin's talking about, the community service and the sort of chivalry that they've taken out of Jedi, out of the Jedi mythology. There's nothing really negative you can say about it. It's a little wacky, a little different, but when you sort of hang out with them for a weekend, at the end of it, you're sort of like, well, why is this all that different from any other religion? It's just a code of ethics and a general sort of belief that tries to explain the universe a little bit, and that's what any religion really does.
Oh, that was my kind of next question about the ideas. Because I asked Kevin about, is this a religion or a philosophy? In your mind, is it a religion or is it more of a belief system, Benjamin?
Well, I think you're kind of touching on the big question that the Jedi seem to debate kind of endlessly here, whether it's a religious, a religion or a philosophy or a lifestyle. And there were different people. I went to a gathering of Jedi in Tennessee to write the article, and there were people there who had different beliefs on that. Kevin, I know, thinks of it more as a lifestyle or philosophy, but there were people there who were very adamant about it being a religion. And there are other people, who run Jedi sites who absolutely consider it the religion. So I guess it depends on how you define religion and your own personal view of what a religion should be and bring into your life. It's, it depends entirely on which Jedi you happen to be talking to.
Interesting. Well, Kevin, have you experienced any kind of backlash or a negative feedback because you say I practice Jediism? I mean, can you put that down on the census application there?
On the census, there's not a slot for it. You can put other if it allows you to write it in. You could put that. Some people have. There's obviously been times in other countries where that's actually been a pretty big thing. 2001 certainly had a huge media coverage on that. But I haven't had any negative backlash. Certainly you get the raised eyebrows, the questions. At most, you get jokes on where's your robe, where's your lightsaber, things of that nature. But it's my experience has never been negative, as long as you're willing to have a sense of humor about it.
Well, speaking of those two items, do you have a robe and do you have a lightsaber? Because, that might be attractive for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's certainly when I was younger and I first started out, that's what I was looking for. Those items are really cool. It's one of the things that captures you about Star Wars. But outside of my Halloween costume from a few years ago, I don't have a robe or lightsaber.
Although some of the Jedi at the convention did have at the gathering did have robes that were really important to them, and they had different types of swords and things like that. It depends on which Jedi you happen to run into.
Benjamin, as a journalist, I remember when Star Wars first came out, and I remember stories that came out after it, that this movie captured intensely the psyche of an entire generation of young people. Is this what we're seeing in the backlash of this, or not a backlash, but certainly in the wake of that there was something about Star Wars that was so new, so powerful? Is that what we're seeing here?
That might be part of it. I mean, my own personal theory is that Star Wars, if you sort of deconstruct it, is filled with a lot of religious mythology, a lot of Christian symbolism, a lot of sort of core, basic religious iconography. And I think that it's been sort of reformatted in a way that's attractive to people who aren't necessarily interested in religion, but they're still getting some of that. And I think that's, it does seem to have a really powerful spiritual impact on people, and I don't think that's an accident. I think it's because it's so filled with sort of iconic religious symbols and storylines, and it is a religious parable in a lot of ways.
Sure. And the thing, Kevin, how do you, I mean, all religions kind of work on this, but how do you decide, what is good and what is evil? How do you decide, how if a person is good or not? And how do you make sense of pain and suffering in this religion of Jediism?
Ethics is a very big part, trying to decipher right action from wrong action. We work off a combination where it's about your intentions, it's about how you act on your intentions, and ultimately about the outcome. It's a full focus on just trying to do good for the greater good, trying to make an impact in a positive way, in a beneficial way throughout your life. And whether that's, within your own community, within your family, within your circle of friends, or something bigger, going out there and being part of a search and rescue team, as some Jedi are, trying to make that positive impact to help people in that positive, beneficial way, something that uplifts and encourages them and yourself to be a better person overall, is basically where our focus is on proper action or right action.
Right.
For pain and suffering, it's, that's just, your general, you don't look to hurt other people for your own selfish gain.
I see. And I hear you have another name, a Jedi name. What is that?
I do. Opie Macleod.
Okay, and how did you decide on that name?
Well, Opie was just a childhood nickname that I grew up with. And when I first started on the internet, you just didn't give out your real name. It's not like now with Facebook and everything, and Twitter handles nowadays that have your real name. So for my moniker online, I used my childhood nickname because it fit me. And then I used Macleod just because I was a fan of the Highlander series and needed that last name. So.
Okay. If you want to find out more information about the Jediism, go online to the JediAcademyOnline.com to check out more about this this Jedi faith based on the Star Wars movies. Also, if you want to check out more about Benjamin's article, it's in Details magazine. It's called The Church of the Jedi. Very interesting article. Benjamin, very nicely written. Thank you very much for both being here on Spirited Debate.
Thank you.
Thank you.